Good morning. So as we go into our first song, it's going to be the sound of silence. So I'm going to ask that at the end of the song, we're just going to enjoy that silence at the end. So don't clap, just think, on the lyrics and what's happening. And welcome. It's lovely to see everybody. Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again, because a vision softly creeping left its seeds while I was sleeping, and the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence. In restless dreams I walked alone, narrow streets of cobblestone, 'neath the halo of a street lamp. I turned my collar to the cold and damp, when my eyes were stabbed by the flash of a neon light that split the night and touched the sound of silence. And in the naked light I saw 10,000 people, maybe more. People talking without speaking, people hearing without listening, people writing songs that voices never shared, and no one dared disturb the sound of silence. Fool, said I, you do not know. Silence like a cancer grows. Hear my words that I might teach you. Take my arms that I might reach you. But my words like silent raindrops fell and echoed in the wells of silence. And the people bowed and prayed to the neon god they made, and the sign flashed out its warning in the words that it was forming. And the sign said, the words of the prophets are written on the subway walls and tenement halls, and whispered in the sounds of silence.
Thank you so much, Emily and Gary. Our opening words today are by J. Abernathy, Jr. Let us seek the quiet and the calm. Let us lay aside our loud calling. Let us lay aside our struggle. Speak softly. Let us listen to the melodies that recall other proportions. Our moments tarry not with us. Let us then seek the dimension that endures beyond all nounness and here-ness, beyond all requirement and all particularity. Let us speak softly so that we may hear. Let us enter into the quiet. Now I'd like to invite our song leaders up to guide us in singing our opening hymn, number 83, Winds Be Still. We will be playing through it once, and then singing all 3 verses. Please rise and body your spirit to sing our opening hymn. Good morning, everyone. My name is Hannalora Chapple, and I will be your youth worship leader this morning. Whether you are a first-time visitor, a reoccurring guest, or a member, I would like to extend a warm welcome to you. Thank you for choosing to spend this Sunday with us at Buckman Bridge Unitarian Universalist Church, or BBUUC for short. As the hustle and bustle of the week begins with school or work or chores or anything that may wrap us up in a disarray, let us try to be still a moment together this Sunday. If you are new here, we welcome you to grab a name tag over by the entryway so that we may get to know you by name. While you are there, please feel free to pick up any literature about our church or our denomination. And if you are curious, we also offer regular Learn About Us classes for those who want to learn more about Unitarian Universalism. For the time being, please make sure that your electronic devices are silenced to provide that our service today runs smoothly without distractions. After the service, everyone is invited in the back of the sanctuary for coffee, snacks, and conversations. I hope that you will join us. Our congregational covenant is our mission and promise to this community. May we join together in saying our congregational covenant. The words are printed in your order of service. We covenant to engage one another with honesty, kindness, and respect, to value diversity, seek understanding of our differences, and to practice gracious accountability with care, love, and empathy. We make these promises to those who are here and those yet to come, so that we may be a safe, welcoming, and beloved community of acceptance, learning, and transformation. And now please rise and body your spirit to sing our call to worship. The words are also in your order of service. We illuminate our chalice each Sunday as a symbol of our faith. I would like to invite Heather Chapple up to light our chalice as I read the words of Eric Lindstrom. Here, today, in this place and with these people, may we listen so that we can hear. May we hear so that we can feel. May we feel so that we can know. And may we know so that we can change ourselves and this world. May this chalice we light our way. Thank you.
So we are going to be singing a second song today called Be Still. My dad picked up on the tune somewhere. He actually doesn't remember, but decided to do a little adaptation, and it sounds really lovely. We're going to be asking that you guys join us in singing today. We are going to run through the refrain once. I'll sing it, then we'll sing it together. And then we'll have verses and refrains. At the end, we'll have one refrain with the guitar, and then it'll drop out. I'll remind you that there's one more, and we'll sing the last together as well. After we're all done, again, no need to clap. We're just going to kind of sit in that silence that happens after the song and let that lead us into what comes next. Be still, and you can hear a voice. Be still, and be aware. Be still, and you can hear a voice. Be still, and know you are loved. Now it's your turn. Be still, and you can hear a voice. Be still, and be aware. Be still, and you can hear a voice. Be still, and know you are loved. I sat down at the riverside. I sat upon the rocks. I sat, and then I heard a voice. It said that you belong here. Be still, and you can hear a voice. Be still, and be aware. Be still, and you can hear a voice. Be still, and know you are loved. I sat upon a mountainside. I sat and looked below. I sat, and then I heard a voice. It said, you are beautiful. Be still, and you can hear a voice. Be still, and be aware. Be still, and you can hear a voice. Be still, and know you are loved. I sat and saw the morning light. I sat upon the grass. I sat, and then I heard a voice. It said, you're part of everything. Be still, and you can hear a voice. Be still, and be aware. Be still,
We all have different paths that we're on. We have different goals in mind. We are all in very different situations. Yet, we all met here together today and on previous Sundays. We take this opportunity of the service to donate to this possibility and opportunity that this building has provided us. As the plates are passed around, feel free to place your offering inside. If you would prefer an alternative method, donations can also be made on our website at bbuuc.org and then by clicking the donate link. There is also a QR code in your order of service. Whether or not you choose to give, I ask that you please participate in this ritual by passing the plate to the person sitting next to you. Whatever you choose to give, it is greatly appreciated. I would like to invite Chuck Smithers and Adaro Harrison to accept the offerings. After the plates have been collected, please rise in body or spirit to sing our offertory hymn number 123, Spirit of Life. And now we have Donna Zimmerman reading for us a sermon entitled To Finally Stand Still, written by Reverend Janet Parsons. Donna is a member of BBUC and is on the worship committee and is also a chaplain of our pastoral care team. Donna, the pulpit is yours.
Reverend Parsons begins her sermon. I've been living in my new house for just over 2 years now. It's been a long time since I've moved to a new home, and I've been very aware that it takes a long time for it to truly become home. It takes time to explore, to come to know the place inside and out, to begin to understand and make it my own. One of my favorite walks takes me up the hill behind my house and into the woods. And there I have discovered what I call a listening rock. This is an enormous boulder, almost a cliff, really, that looks out over a wooded hillside. I remember wandering off the trail once and discovering this giant rock and knowing right away that it was a good place, an important place. It is a place for standing still and paying attention. I detour off the trail and onto the top of the rock every time I walk past and just stand for a few minutes looking down among the trees below, trying to catch a glimpse of a deer, noticing how the leaves gradually fill in the view in the springtime, or now are letting go and carpeting the floor. But only recently have I come to think of this as a listening rock. I tend to be very visual. I am observant and aware of the growth of plants and the angle of the sunlight coming in, the color of the sky each day. But because I am so visually oriented, I tend not to pay attention to sounds. And so recently, I have been giving more thought to listening intentionally, to hear everything I can. What I find I'm doing in paying attention in this way is listening for silence. Hearing sounds and listening for silence are two very different things. Can you hear silence? True silence is quite rare, even in the woods. A light breeze rustles the remaining leaves. My dog hears things I can't, and I see and hear her react. Her hackles rise on the back of her neck. There's a low growl. I listen harder. Are there intervals when I can't hear cars or a neighbor's leaf blower, the heavy equipment all the way downtown, or the waves crashing on the beach? I note all those sounds, but more, I am waiting for the space in between the sounds, the silent space. Let's pause now, as we're going to do a couple more times in the course of this sermon, to listen for the silence. Just relax in your seat and be still. If we're lucky, no car alarm will go off, no dog will bark. We may be able to hear and feel the silence of this space. UU minister Angela Herrera wrote, "Beneath the hustle and bustle, beneath the stream of thoughts that clamors and clatters over the landscape of our interior world, beneath our habits of momentum and stirring, there is a stillness, deep and peaceful, where creation begins. Who lives there?" Unquote. In the Christian Bible, we are told that the prophet Elijah listened for God to pass by him and waited in a cave in Mount Horeb. He listened to the storm that passed, the earthquake, the raging fire. But God was not in those. And then there came a silence in which Elijah heard a still, small voice. And he covered his face with his cloak and went to the entrance of the cave. the voice he heard asked, "What are you doing here, Elijah?" Unquote. The psalmist wrote, "Be still. Be still and know that I am God." Beneath the wind and the traffic and the commotion, there is a stillness, deep and peaceful, where creation begins. Who lives there? Be still and know. We have many names for who or what lives beneath the chaos and the distraction. The spirit of life, the holy, the ground of being, ultimate reality, the soul, Buddha, nature, God. Perhaps what we find in the stillness we can name as truth or wholeness or our deepest selves calling out to us. Who or what lives in that center? What passed Elijah's cave? Does a name really matter? Let us pause again and wait for the silence. Don't try to meditate, just listen for the stillness. From our earliest years, we are told to pay attention. Teachers and parents insist on having our attention. Look at me when I'm speaking to you. Listen to me. Look out. Look both ways before you cross the street. We grow up expecting others to demand our attention, and we try to give it. The irony is, in doing so, we take the attention away from our own still centers. Think about having to pay attention. We offer it outwardly. We spend it. We are not taught to listen to our deepest selves or to listen for the moments of silence in the world around us. This is a skill we might never have noticed that we are lacking, and something that we have to intentionally work to reclaim as our own. We have to pay ourselves back. Deep listening, entering into the silence, can resemble peeling an onion. We encounter sound in layers, and we wait to hear if they might be stripped away one by one. The sound of voices, the heavy machinery, then the swoosh of cars. Below the traffic sounds, in the pauses, we begin to find a deeper silence, the sounds we have to listen to in order to name them. Oh, there's the seething of the ocean. Maybe we're hearing a furnace or the dryer. What's below that? It's hard in this noisy culture to get to a place of total silence, sometimes fleetingly in the woods, or if we're awake deep in the middle of the night. If we are fortunate and patient, sounds can peel away one by one and leave us with what? Our breathing, perhaps? Or our faint heartbeat? Sometimes there's a faint hum, harder and harder to identify the deeper we go. Perhaps we arrive at a complete silence for a few seconds, or not at all. But over time, as we practice this, we begin to notice intervals and to open ourselves up to them, to seek out the fleeting moments of silence. What might enter? or what might already be present that we can't usually find or hear. Perhaps, excuse me, perhaps nothing in that moment. As I mentioned earlier, the Bible tells us that Elijah was just too overwhelmed to recognize the voice of God in that moment of silence. He had to be given further instructions on what to do next. Apparently, according to Bible commentators, Elijah just missed his cue. We can't always understand what we might learn in the silence. We might be unprepared, unwilling to listen, and of course, over the course of our lives, there might be many, many moments of silence that offer no gift other than to simply give us a respite from the commotion of our daily lives. And that is gift enough as we navigate through the noise and the distraction. Perhaps we do not need anything else. But what we do know is that without practice, without the effort to be attentive, to listen for the silence, we will not even be aware of the opportunities to sense what might lie beneath the surface, the glimpses of oneness and wholeness that mystics of all tradition assure us can be ours. Sister Joyce Rupp, author and poet, wrote, "In busyness, I often close down. In deliberate or unexpected awareness, I open up. It is in this openness that I see in a different and newer way, viewing people, creatures, and nature in a clearer light. As I open and become more aware, something happens inside of me that causes the barriers of inattentiveness, judgments, and busyness to move aside and for bonding to occur. It is then that I recognize my oneness with the dancing that is inherent in the all of creation. When I take a deep breath and pull in the reins of my hurry, I begin to find the spiritual everywhere. In aware moments such as this, I see more clearly, lean into the mystery of life more deeply, and honor the oneness of life more truly. Let us give ourselves one more opportunity to deepen into the silence, to hear silence. My friends, when we allow ourselves to be still, to wait, to listen, silence comes to us in brief intervals. Sometimes these are so brief that they might slip past us completely unnoticed. But as we grow in awareness, we might begin to notice ourselves opening to that which is both within us and beyond us. These moments are invitations to step outside of time altogether. In these moments of silence, we are given the opportunity to descend within ourselves, to connect with our most elemental selves, to turn towards that which connects us all to life in the web of loving energy that some have named God. The name doesn't matter. What is important in our lives is to understand deep listening as a spiritual practice, to cultivate those opportunities and to recognize them for what they are, gifts of insight and connection. Angela Herrera wrote this: "The holy waits in your world too. Maybe today it will find you in a listening posture and will whisper to you," unquote. May you come to know the great gift of silence, and may you hear in the silence the whisper of your deepest selves. May it be so.
I'd like to invite our song leaders back up to guide us in singing our closing hymn, number 100, I've Got Peace Like a River. After we have finished, please remain standing for our closing words and benediction. Now please rise. I would like to invite Heather Chapple back up to extinguish our chalice as I read the words by Sam Truebore. Go forth in simplicity, find and walk the path that leads to compassion and wisdom, that leads to happiness, peace, and ease. Welcome the stranger and open your heart to a world in need of healing. Hold and embody a vision of the common good that serves the needs of all people. Amen, namaste, blessed be, and may it be so.